Chapter 1.2.6 about cgroup v2. In Linux, control groups, cgroups, are used to restrict resources allocated to processes. The kubelet and container runtime interact with cgroups to manage resources for pods and containers, specifying CPU memory limits. Linux has two versions of cgroups, cgroup v1 and cgroup v2, with cgroup v2 being the newer API generation. This system enables efficient resource allocation and management for containerized workloads. What is cgroup v2? Kubernetes v1.2.5 introduces cgroup v2 as the next version of the Linux cgroup API, offering enhanced resource management capabilities. The new version provides a unified control system with improvements including a single unified hierarchy design, safer subtree delegation to containers, pressure stall information, enhanced resource allocation management, and unified accounting for different types of memory allocations. Some exclusive Kubernetes features utilize cgroup v2 for better resource management and isolation. Using cgroup v2. The recommended way to use cgroup v2 is to use a Linux distribution that enables and uses cgroup v2 by default. To check if your distribution uses cgroup v2, refer to the Identify cgroup version on Linux nodes guide. Cgroup v2 has specific requirements, including having an OS distribution that enables cgroup v2, using a Linux kernel version 5.8 or later, and ensuring that the container runtime supports cgroup v2, e.g. containerd v1.4, cryo v1.2. Several Linux distributions, such as Container Optimized OS, Ubuntu, Debian GNU Linux, Fedora, Arch Linux, RHEL, and RHEL-like distributions, support cgroup v2. To migrate to cgroup v2, the requirements must be met, and the kernel version must be upgraded to one that enables cgroup v2 by default. The kubelet will automatically detect if the OS is running on cgroup v2 and adjust accordingly. Applications that directly access the cgroup file system may need to be updated to support cgroup v2, including third-party monitoring and security agents, Key Advisor, Java applications, and the ubergo/automaxprox package. It is recommended to update these applications to versions that fully support cgroup v2. Identify the cgroup version on Linux nodes. The cgroup version in use on a Linux distribution is determined by the default configuration of the operating system. To identify the cgroup version on your distribution, run the stat-sys-fs/cgroups command. If the output is cgroup2s, it is cgroup v2, and if the output is tmpfs, it is cgroup v1.